Hello, my name is Albert Sosa. Uh, Today I'll be going over carburetor icing. Um, my materials today will be the R222 POH once again, and also the Worker Flying Handbook. Today's lesson I'll be primarily going over a couple things as far as how carb ice forms, what's happening to the helicopter when it does form, and how do you recover from carb ice. So, first we'll go over how carb ice forms. It all starts with your induction system on the aircraft. So in the R-22, we have a carbureted engine, and we have to worry about carb ice, as opposed to fuel injection, where our fuel will be directly injected into the cylinder, so they don't have to really worry about that. In a carbureted engine, the fuel air mixture passes through the venturi. So once that fuel air mixture passes through this, it's likely to form carb ice for the following reasons. So you have, your fuel being injected into you know, it's being injected into the venturi. You have your incoming air, and it will pass through this butterfly valve, and this will go directly to the engine. So what's happening here is once it passes through the venturi, as you can see, it's a little narrower. But what that will do is that will increase the velocity of the air, and it will also lower the pressure. What that does, it actually uh, causes a sharp drop in temperature. So it could be 100 degrees outside, but it will not, that won't be the case in here. So if there's any moisture, that can cause ice to form, and it will form right along the walls here. That's what's happening. That's how it forms. Um, like I mentioned before, carb ice can form even when it's really hot outside, up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and even really low moisture. But it is most likely to occur below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way, but increasing like this the closer it is to freezing, and also a higher moisture content. That's where your real danger is. So once you form carb ice, what's going to happen to the helicopter? As you can see here, if you're if we did not have ice here, our normal fuel air mixture goes straight to the engine, and we have our power required. When ice is formed, our airflow changes, so our fuel air mixture is reduced. That means reduced power. Now, if you look at Safety Notice 31 in your POH, it'll go over helicopters with governors. As you know, a governor will adjust your RPMs to make sure they stay in the green. Now, when you have a reduction in power, your governor is going to automatically increase throttle, so you can keep your power that you are pulling at the moment. So you don't notice carb ice is forming. You are not pulling any carb heat, and the ice keeps closing the airway, and now your governor has pulled full throttle. Went full throttle, and now since you're noticing your RPMs droop a little bit, you start to pull a little bit more collective, and now you are in low rotor RPM. So at this point, you should know that the recovery procedure for low rotor RPM is to lower collective and raise throttle. So what's going to happen if you do that is, obviously you don't have any more throttle left, and you lower collective. What that's going to do, your correlator is going to close this butterfly valve. And assuming that you build up enough ice that you've entered this condition, it's going to completely close off your fuel air mixture, and all of a sudden you have an engine stoppage and you're in bad shape. So obviously try to keep on top of your carb heat by keeping it out of the yellow, and so on and so forth. So how do we prevent this from happening? Well, we're going to use carb heat. So if you turn 7.3 in your POH, page 7.3. So for your power plant information, induction air enters through an inlet on the right side of your aircraft and passes through a flexible duct to the carburetor airbox. A hot air scoop supplies heated air to the carburetor airbox. A sliding valve controlled by the pilot, your carb heat, controlled by the pilot, allows either cool or warm air to flow into the box through the air filter and up into the carburetor. So that will keep carb ice from forming. So when would you use carb heat? Yeah, I mean, you can keep it full up all the time, but it's mainly for situations where it's most likely. I mean, during the summer, you probably won't need it that much, but just for good measure, keep it out of the yellow. So when exactly do we use carb heat? If you turn to page 411 in your POH, I got some rules for you. So in R22, if you're below 18 inches of manifold pressure, you're going to want to have full carb heat. And then for good practice, keep it out of the yellow when you're above that. For an R44, that rule doesn't apply. You do have to keep it out of the yellow, but if you're below 18 inches of power, it doesn't matter as long as you're out of the yellow. And the reason for that is there's a different. The R22 and R24 have their cat temp centers at different locations. The R22 has theirs before the butterfly valve, so right here, and then R44 has theirs after. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so we went over how do we get carb ice, what happens to the helicopter once we get it, and how do we recover from it. So thank you.